A&M O-line coach Adam Cushing joining us before the Aggies head up to South Bend to take on Notre Dame. And I kind of wanted to start by you sort of heading back to a little bit of home territory. You're a Chicago guy.
Yep.
Growing up. Were you surrounded by Fighting Irish fans?
Without question, right? Certainly the neighborhood I grew up in was an Irish Catholic neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. My older brother was actually born in South Bend. My parents lived there for a while, so certainly going back home a little bit.
I think we talked to you when you arrived at A&M, your offensive line. Do you kind of want them to play with that chip on their shoulder and with those broad shoulders, like maybe a Chicago native in a way?
That's 100% the way that we operate, right? We talk about that chip on our shoulder. We talk about that we have to go out there and dictate the terms of a football game. That's what a successful offensive line does.
And you've got a couple of captains in your room. Armajé Reed-Adams was just named a captain. This is 2 years now in that role for Trey Zune. And I wanted to ask you, are they both effective leaders but maybe get there in different ways, Trey and Armajé?
It's exactly what happens. And they're a phenomenal complement to each other, both in the room and for the football team. Trey is that guy that does everything right all the time. His details are at an incredibly high level, and he's a phenomenal teammate, and he has really worked himself to become more of a vocal leader. And because of the way that he goes about his business and because of the way that his performance is out on this football field, everybody follows him. Armajé's got a little bit more emotion, a little bit more outward, personality, so that the guys that will gravitate maybe to different people, but having Armajé and Trey aligned together and both understanding what high-level performance looks like, feels like, not only individually but as a football team, that's what makes them such a great pair.
And then these first two games, been a little bit of rotation in there with the offensive line. And Robert Borden has gotten some time, and it seemed like Coach Elko and you have been thrilled with the work he's put in. But just to be able to interchange those guys to get the right pieces in, how valuable is that?
Yeah, you know what? We start that in February when we start talking football and we start getting an opportunity to go out there and everyone plays every position, right? I say it all the time. When you walk up to the second floor, it doesn't say centers, guards, and tackles room. It says offensive line room, and that's what the guys play. And it gives us the opportunity that no matter the situation, right, if somebody gets a shoelace or their helmet, the chin strap breaks, whatever, or God forbid, some sort of injury, we can always get the best five out there, right? And it's really traditionally been the only position on the field other than quarterback where guys don't rotate. And when you play five guys for an entire football game, right, that it wears them down after a 12, 13, 14. Look, what our long-term goals are here in this thing, 16-game season, we want to be able to have guys fresh not only in the fourth quarter of the game, but in the fourth quarter of the season.
Finally, as you go to South Bend, these hostile environments we talk about when you play in big venues like Notre Dame Stadium, that really is in regards to the offense. You guys face the noise. So that line has to function as a unit. How much has that word communication been thrown out as you go into this place on Saturday night?
That's the first thing that we talk about, right, is it is going to be loud, right? We bring music out of practice. Sometimes we're playing different songs so that even they have to break it up even within that, so that there's a really demonstrative effort to communicate. There has to be over a communication to say, because that guy that normally hears you when you go, hey, we're going this way, right? You may have to tap him a couple of times to make sure he knows. So that's one of the, and we prepare for that starting in February also, right? We have our silent cadence. We have our ability to communicate with noise.
We appreciate you. Good luck in South Bend, Coach.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Gig 'em.